Hey guys, HDV here. Now Pokemon Sun and Moon have finally been released and I cannot say how excited I am for the new games. All the new Pokemon look really good and I'm pretty happy overall with the Pokedex. We've got some pretty nice looking Pokemon in there. That being said, I feel like Nintendo have missed out on a huge opportunity to create some Pokemon that would have really fit in with the two new games, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. So today's video simply goes over new Pokemon that should have been in, the new games. All of these choices are based off of animals that are native to Hawaii, where obviously Sun and Moon are set, and also some personal choices that I would love to see in the Pokemon games at some point. I would also love to hear some of your guys' suggestions for new Pokemon that should have been in Sun and Moon, so be sure to leave your ideas in the comment section below after watching the video. With introductions out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. Okay, so first we have a Dolphin. I know we have Gorbis, but I think we could have had a Pokemon that actually looks a lot more like a dolphin. Sun and Moon are based in Hawaii, which is home to three common types of dolphin, being spinner dolphins, spotted dolphins, and the bottlenose dolphins. Seeing as the player is travelling between islands, there's a lot of water, so plenty of habitats for a dolphin Pokemon to live in. I feel that Nintendo missed out on probably the best opportunity they've ever had and will ever have really, to make a really good Pokemon based on a dolphin. It could have been a 3-stage evolution and would have fit in nicely with the trial captain Lana's team, so I'm pretty disappointed that there isn't a new dolphin-like Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. The second animal that I would have loved to see in a Pokemon based off of is the Hawaiian Hoary Bat. Now I mentioned this animal numerous times in previous videos, solely for its incredible background story. Hawaii has only one native land mammal, being the Hawaiian Hoary Bat. The fact that it is isolated by 2,500 miles of ocean from land meant that it was impossible for most land mammals to survive any random journey. Now I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like it had the potential to be a really good Pokemon, seeing how difficult it would be to come across one having to travel all of that distance. Also, it is one of 3 mammals endemic to Hawaii, another being the Hawaiian monk seal, which obviously Poplio is based off of, so I don't see why the monk seal got a Pokemon based on it and the Hoary Bat didn't, especially with its potential of being a very rare Pokemon. The third animal that a Pokemon should have been based on in Pokemon Sun and Moon is the Kauai cave wolf spider. Now this animal also had incredible potential to make an amazing Pokemon, but unfortunately just didn't make the cut. The Kauai cave wolf spider, also known to local residents as the blind spider, is only known to occur in a few caves in a lava flow with an area of 10.5 square kilometers, and only 6 populations are known to exist. While their nearest surface dwelling relatives have large eyes, this species has completely lost its eyes. Reading this, the wolf spider would have made an amazing dual typing of fire and bug, seeing as we only have Volcarona's evolution line with that typing, so would have made a really good impact in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. And the blindness could mean this Pokemon gets access to lower accuracy moves such as Fire Blast, Focus Blast and so on. When we're getting Pokemon based on sandcastles, when we have amazing animals like this to base them off of, it really makes you wonder what's really going on at Game Freak. The fourth animal that should have been a Pokemon in Sun and Moon is the Triceratops. Obviously there are no new fossil Pokemon in 7th gen, which is a pretty big surprise to all of us. I mean, just look at the Triceratops in general, it just looks like a monster. Like, those horns just look like it could pierce anything. I mean, it could have been, a Pokemon with really high attack stat and maybe something like Rock and Fire, there's a dual typing, or Rock and Grass. Either way, a Triceratops is by far one of my favourite dinosaurs, and it's actually mind-boggling that it hasn't had a Pokemon made off of it yet. We've had obviously Rampardos and stuff as a Tyrannosaurus Rex look-alike, so I mean we've got Bastiodon, but it doesn't really scream Triceratops, so I think we could have really had a really nice just opportunity to have a Triceratops as a Pokemon with the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon, but obviously they went with no new fossil Pokemon, so I mean it's all down to them, but in my eyes a Triceratops would have been an amazing addition to the new games, and I'm really disappointed that it didn't make the cut. The fifth animal that should have had a Pokemon based on it is the Komodo Dragon. Now, just look at this beast. I mean, I was watching a nature program the other day and it was going over the Komodo Dragon, and it's just telling you all the facts about it, like how fierce and strong it is, how the tail is like ridiculously strong and the skin is just like impenetrable. It just is literally a walking killing machine, really. It's so strong, and the fact that there isn't a Pokemon named, like, made off of a Komodo Dragon yet is honestly, it just blows my mind, because it could have been such an amazing opportunity, like a Pokemon. It probably would have been a single stage Pokemon, which would have been fine by me. You know, it could have been very bulky, like earlier I said, with the very hard skin, impenetrable skin. That would have obviously given it really good defenses, and then a really high attack stat just because of how strong its tail is and how strong its teeth are and claws and everything. Maybe low slow speed just to make it not incredibly overpowered, even though I think they're pretty fast in real life anyway. But obviously would have been the dragon typing, maybe dragon and poison or something like that. But I mean, the tongue looks like it's really weird, 'cause it has like kind of a snake tongue, but then it just looks like an absolutely ferocious beast. So, you know, I would have loved to see this Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I mean, all hope is not lost. Hopefully one day this animal does make it into the games. But Sun and Moon clearly didn't really want it in the games. But I mean, if Nintendo are ever looking for a really good dragon type Pokemon, the Komodo Dragon should be first in line, because it's absolutely amazing, and I love the look of it, and there could be some really good designs based off of these animals. The sixth animal that should have been a Pokemon in Sun and Moon is the boar. Now, obviously we have Emboar, but he's standing up on 2 legs instead of on all 4s, so it doesn't really count. To me, it could have been a grass and dark type, which would have been a pretty nice typing for this kind of animal. It could have been a 2-stage evolution, maybe something you come across early on in the game, you know, like your Rattatas and stuff, and obviously we had Yungoos and everything in this game, but it could have been something, you know, pretty similar to that in the way that it looks. And, you know, it doesn't look like anything that could do like a lot. Obviously they can hurt, definitely, it is a boar, but it doesn't look like something that would evolve into something really, really strong and powerful. So yeah, maybe just a 2-stage evolution. Like the first stage could have been really cute, and then looks a little bit more fierce and stuff in the second stage. I don't know. I think it could have been a really nice. It could have had a potential to be a really good typing as well, because obviously we're coming across all like the normal typings and stuff early on in the games. So it would have been a nice change to that, having you know, like a grass and dark type Pokemon. Just to give it that bit of just a bit of extra spice, you know, sugar and spice, everything nice. But yeah, obviously they are native to Hawaii as well, so it makes sense in that department. But obviously I'm not super disappointed that this didn't make the games. Like, I'm obviously a lot more disappointed that like Komodo Dragons and Dolphins and Triceratopses didn't make the game. But you know, it still would have been nice to see a boar in the new Pokemon games, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Now, the last animal that should have had a Pokemon based on it is the feral European rabbit. This animal is obviously native to Hawaii, so obviously that's where the inspiration will come from for a Pokemon for it. And it would have been nice to see another rabbit Pokemon. Obviously we already have a handful of rabbit Pokemon, but you know, we can never have too many rabbit Pokemon. I could see this, it could have been a 3-stage evolution maybe, obviously a really, really cute first stage, and then it just evolves into something, you know, getting its name out there, getting some nice attacks, you know, but then it just evolving into like the biggest monster that's just like, it could have been something special, you know, something that we would have really enjoyed looking at. Obviously the first stage could have been, you know, really fast, but then the stats would go into attack and defenses, similar to Incineroar's line, where obviously Litten and Torracat are quite fast, and then the speed just goes into the attack and defenses for Incineroar. So it could have been similar to that in that regard, but I still would have really liked to see some kind of you know, feral rabbit, just a new rabbit Pokemon in general. Like I said, they are native to Hawaii, so it does make sense if they were to make an appearance in Pokemon Sun and Moon, but obviously didn't make the cut. Obviously I'm not hugely disappointed about this. I think it would have just been nice to see it in the games, but that's my thought on it anyway. I do want to just make, I probably should have mentioned this earlier in the video, but I do just want to stress that all the designs used in this video will be linked in the description below, so please make sure you do check out all the amazing artists, all the talented people that have made the drawings that have been featured in this video. Like I said, will all just be credited in the description below, so be sure to check out all of them. But with that wraps up this video. You know, I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it, and if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. I'd really, really appreciate it. I have a couple top 5s coming onto a screen in a second, so be sure to give them a watch if you have the time, and also subscribe if you like my content. That's everything from me though, so thanks for watching guys, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.